Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And boy, oh boy, there's so much to cover today. Welcome one and all. There's a major story involving Candace Owens, a big one, which I'm going to get to in just a bit. But first, I wasn't even really going to talk about this, and then I saw these meltdowns that the liberals are having. I thought the liberals all went to blue sky, and now they've all come back to X. They're trying to turn X into Twitter, and yeah, I guess in blue sky, since there's really no conservatives on blue sky, although the White House opened up a blue sky the other day, but I guess they need to be over on X where all the MAGA people are. But they're having these meltdowns and freakouts over Trump's remodeling in the East Wing of the White House, putting in this expanded ballroom, which is modeled after the ballroom at Mar-a-Lago. And, the thing about the White House, for those of you who have been to the White House, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've ever been inside the White House, it is so tiny. I mean, it's over 200 years old, and it was a big house for its day, but it's really, really tiny. So they don't have the East Room, where they're tearing down that wall where President Trump is building this new ballroom. The East Room is where they have the White House balls and state dinners, and it is so small. When I went to the White House, I entered through the East Room. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I was in a miniature dollhouse almost. It's so small at the White House. And you go through these rooms, the blue room, the yellow room, the White House dining room. There are people watching this stream right now. Your dining room is bigger than the White House dining room, okay? It's very small. So they don't have room for a proper state dinner or even an event. They just don't have room for proper entertaining at the White House. In the ballroom at Mar-a-Lago, which this one is kind of, I don't know if it's a replica of it, but it's certainly in the same style. The ballroom at Mar-a-Lago is massive. It is huge. And President Trump actually built that for Melania to get married there for the wedding reception. And it is beautiful. A lot of events there. I've been in there. And I'm just so surprised. And we'll go through some of this. But one thing I don't listen. A lot of people in this country don't know our basic history and social studies. They don't teach that anymore. We talk about that a lot on the program. So, what's going on with these Democrats and that are having these meltdowns? They don't know the history of the White House. They don't know anything about it. So we'll go through some of this. This is in Breitbart. Headline, dumb, desperate, demoralized Dems and media claim Trump is destroying the White House. And because they tore down this wall. And this is Morning Joe talking about it.
It's Donald Trump, who promised that he was not going to take a wrecking ball to the existing structure, has taking a wrecking ball to existing structure. I got to say, Mick, it really is. It is hard to watch that, and it's hard to believe that any president could destroy the White House and take a wrecking ball to an existing structure so historic. That is what's happening. It'd be one thing if you were building on or you were doing things inside, but to take literally a wrecking ball to the White House.
I can't.
It's grotesque. It's just grotesque.
Yeah, and this after the Rose Garden and I guess the patio that they have put in, which you could argue, but this
far different.
Is painful.
Okay. The thing about the Rose Garden, that they put a concrete slab out there so they could entertain. President Trump, he was out there with, I can't remember what country they were from. Was it someone from president or prime minister or something, some other country? It might have been of Greece. I can't remember. They went out there and their shoes sunk into the wet grass because it had rained. And he's like, enough of this. This is embarrassing. See, what Trump is trying to do is turn the White House into a majestic palace where important people and leaders from around the world are impressed when they go there. And it really is not that impressive in its current state. And do you hear all these sighs from Mika Brzezinski, all that where she's passing judgment?
I mean, this is historic structure.
It's history being torn to shreds. And again, is everybody? I mean, so if somebody wants to go into the White House, the next person wants to just knock down all the walls and turn it into a disco. Congress can't do anything. I mean, seriously, you're destroying like one of the most historic structures on the planet.
Yeah. And the cost.
And are we saying that whoever we elect president has the right to destroy? Like what? Just tear things up, tear it to the ground, turn it into something else? Kind of crazy.
Okay, so I'm a little surprised at Joe Scarborough here, and I'll tell you why I'm a little surprised at Joe Scarborough, because I would think he would know his history. The White House, the current White House that we have, the insides of it is not that old. President Truman had the entire White House gutted. So goes the story. He was, his daughter was a singer, not a very good one from what they said. And they were playing piano, the family together in the restaurant, and the leg of the piano went through the floor. And he had people come in and inspect the White House, and it was condemned. They said it was unsafe to be in, and it was about to collapse. So now there's the White House residence, and then the West Wing is where the Oval Office and stuff is. That's a separate structure. When people talk about the White House, they're talking about the mansion, the stereotypical mansion where the residence is up top couple floors. And Harry Truman actually had the entire White House gutted, and he lived at the Blair House. If I can find a picture of it here, let me see. Yeah, okay. Here's a. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. He had the entire White House gutted. Everything inside of it was torn out. Every wall, every floor. Now they did leave the main four walls of the structure. They took out the windows. They took out everything, and it was just dirt. And if you watch on YouTube, I'm showing a picture of when they gutted the entire White House. And everything in there is basically a replica. Like the Lincoln bedroom, that wasn't Lincoln's bedroom. Wherever Lincoln was sleeping is not there anymore. They took everything out. It was completely gutted. And not only was it gutted, it was rebuilt. And when they rebuilt it, they redesigned it. So the current design inside the house when it was rebuilt is not the way it was inside the White House prior to Truman's remodeling. And they're all acting as if this is the way the White House is today is the way it was built 200 years ago, over 200 years ago now. And he's doing it. No. And of course, there's been renovations and everything, but the Truman renovation, which went on for quite a while. In fact, Truman spent a huge chunk of his presidency not living in the White House, but living across the street at the White House guest house, which is known as the Blair House. And when he was staying there, there was a major assassination attempt. Puerto Rican nationalists who were part of a Puerto Rican terrorist organization that were advocating for Puerto Rican independence rushed the front door of the Blair House where President Truman was at, killed a Secret Service man out front. We're trying to get in to get the Truman because they were remodeling the White House. And if you watch on my YouTube channel and you see it, it's hard to believe, but that's the White House right there, completely gutted. And I don't think a lot of people know this. And I always wondered because when they always made a big deal that Jackie Kennedy remodeled the old out-of-date White House. When Jackie Kennedy moved in, it was like when she did whatever she did that she gets all this credit for, it was less than 10 years after because we had Truman, and then we had 8 years of Eisenhower, and then Kennedy. So it was less than 10 years after they gutted everything, tore everything out, and rebuilt it from the dirt all the way up. And she was acting like it was 200-year-old stuff then. No, it's not. So, this whole thing about being sacred and everything, that's just not true. The four walls outside are primarily the original walls. I mean, they've had to do some work over the years. The main walls outside are primarily the original walls. But nothing Inside is original and was done in 1950, whatever, early 50s when Truman was president. And this is a very common thing, and I just don't think people know it. I had this experience when I went to Ford's Theater years ago, and I was so excited because I'd never seen Ford's Theater. And we sit down in the theater, and we've got the president's box, and the park ranger comes out. And the first thing she said, I was like, ugh. She said, there was a roof collapse in 1920-something. This entire building was gutted, and where you're at now is a replica. So none of it was from the stage, nothing. In fact, it had been converted into an office building, Ford's Theater. And she said the stage, the seats, the balcony and box where the president is, none of that. This is all a replica. None of this was here. I was like, oh my goodness. And I was with my daughter and my in-laws. And I said to my mother-in-law is a big student of history too, like me. And I said, well, you know, when we're done with this, that a little disappointed, I said to her, but I said, when we're done with this, I want to walk up on stage because when Booth shot Lincoln, he jumped down on this replica stage. He went out the back door and he touched his hand on the wall. So I want to go back there and touch that wall where John Wilkes Booth laid his hand. And then as soon as I said that to my mother-in-law, the park ranger says, oh, by the way, that wall back there collapsed and when the roof collapsed in 1920, whatever. So that's not the wall. And that doorway, that's not the doorway John Wilkes Booth walked through. And that's not the wall he put his hand. I was like, oh my goodness, you know. So, you know, so these things that they're talking about at the White House, it's great what he's doing. He's making the White House great again. And he wants to have a place that he can show off and be proud of, and people be impressed by the wealth and majesty of America. You know, these people come from countries around the world who live in palaces that cost $1 trillion to make, and we've got some tiny little house built in 1800 that was remodeled in 53 or so, that's very tiny and needs to be nice. What's wrong? You know, but what it is? It's Trump derangement syndrome. That's it. All right, well, let's take some calls before we move on to other things. Big story with Candace Owens I'm going to get to in a bit. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Kona, brother, calling from Oahu, Hawaii.
All right. What's up, Hawaii?
Hey, what's up, brother? I just had a great idea. And I saw you online, and you could probably push it, bro. I have a great idea. Let's do our own protest nationwide and crush their 7 million.
Our protest. Listen, that's ridiculous. You know, I went to. Okay, I went to. It sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Well, I went to. One of those Tesla protests, right? And this idiot liberal says to me, because I got my MAGA hat on and stuff, she says, where's your people? Where are your people? Where are your protesters? I said, my people are in the White House running the country. Donald John Trump, the president of the United States, you may have heard of him. You know, so we got the White House. We got it. So that's our protest, man, all right?
Nah, well, I just figured it would be funny.
Nah, it wouldn't be funny.
Right now I see online they're saying there's 7 million.
Do you believe that number? Does anyone believe? Nobody.
100 billion of us.
Does anyone believe that 7 million number for the no? I don't believe that number. Do you believe that number?
No, I don't, brother. I don't at all.
Where'd they get that number? They just made that up.
NBC do that old video.
They just made that up. Yeah, that old video from 2017 yeah, they just made that up. Well, listen, welcome, and thanks for the call. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, I pulled up another picture and from another angle inside the White House, and you can see they tore down everything, every floor, everything, just the 4 standing walls on the outside. So, you know, and this was in the 1950s. It's ridiculous. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Greg from Palm Beach Gardens.
Hey, Greg, what's up? What's that noise in the background?
Oh, not much.
What's that noise in the background?
Sorry.
You got to turn that down. It's annoying. Sounds like a music box. We got a little ballerina dancing around in there. What is that?
Yeah, I knew to do that, but...
Okay, what's on your mind?
All right.
I can still hear it. What is that?
Can you?
I can't now.
Shoot.
I know, I can hear it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. I saw your. I had no idea what you were talking about because I was waiting on your call. So but you were talking about the reconstruction of the East Wing or something
Of the White House, yeah.
And my my buddy, I've known him for over 25 years, and he sent me some. Donald Trump lied. He said he wasn't going to do anything. I'm like, well, things change.
That's right, they do.
I mean, it's called an upgrade.
Correct.
It's called an upgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's all it is. An upgrade.
He's doing an upgrade. Yeah, listen. This is just their Trump derangement syndrome. No matter what he does, it's wrong to these people, right? He can do no right by these people.
Yeah. Well, I texted him back and I saw some of the stuff when Truman did the whole inside. I'm like, well, don't you realize that the White House inside of the White House is not the White House you used to know?
No, they don't know that. They think sorry about that. They think all these they don't know that it was totally gutted. I'm showing pictures on YouTube now, just totally gutted. I mean, I assume this was common knowledge. I guess people just don't know. I just assume people knew this.
Well, yeah. Well, I thought it was too, but I texted back. I'm like, did you not notice or do you not realize that Truman gutted the whole? He left his shell, but not only the shell, but everything else was gone.
He tore out everything. There's nothing in there that's original. And they also they didn't use the same plans when they built the rooms. All the rooms and everything are all new. This is not the way George Washington didn't live there, but if you went to the early presidents, that went there. I think Adams was the first president that lived in the White House, if I remember correctly. They wouldn't recognize it. They'd get lost. The rooms are different. The hallways are different. It's totally different.
Yeah. So I just want to call and let you. I saw what you're, on your what do you call that? When you go to your screen, the green screen, the other one.
Yep, that's where you got to watch. You got to watch on the mainstream.
Oh yeah. Well, I do that now. I used to do the green screen, but now I do the other one.
Yeah. Well, all right. Appreciate the call.
I appreciate you taking my call. It's the first time I've called on a radio show. So.
Oh, well, good. Good to hear from you. We'll call again sometime. You're a good caller.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, take care. Yeah, if you're watching on the live stream with the green behind me, if you want to see all the images and the videos and hear the audio I play, you want to go to my main live stream, and that's linked in the description. By the way, this is the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed out. But you know what? It's time for a quick break. We'll be right back. On the line, we have Bruce. Bruce is a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. He heard me talking with Joe Thomas about annuities and what a great deal they are. And he went in with his wife, and now he's a client. Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian.
So tell me about your experience with Jupiter Joe Thomas.
A fine gentleman. We sat down with Joe, and we explained everything to him, and we brought all our information, and he worked everything out great.
The cool thing about annuities is your money's never at risk. You're guaranteed a revenue stream for the rest of your life, but there's a bonus, really a signing bonus, where you can make a boatload of money before you even leave Joe Thomas's office. Can you talk a little bit about that, Bruce?
Well, that's where I was surprised when we sat down. We talked about the bonuses, and to my amazement, it was 10%, and there was even another one that's bigger.
Wow, that's amazing. So you made 10% on your money before you even got back in your car.
Yeah, it was more than that, but it was great.
Listen, guys, do what Bruce did. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. You can set up a free consultation either on the phone or in the office, and Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal just for you. His number is 561-743-0999. 743-0999 and online at jupiterjoe.com. All right, Bruce, thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
I was telling Steve Kane this morning that come August, it'll be 3 years since Dr. Philip Appleton rid me of pain for the first time. It was in my knee. And my knee had been hurting me since I was 20, 21 years old. So it had been 30 years of suffering. And sometimes my knee would act up. It was my right knee. It would act up so much, I just wanted to sit down and go to sleep, because the pain was so bad. And Dr. Appleton treated me. And I know it was 3 years ago because I remember a salesman from the radio station took me to meet Dr. Appleton. And I told Dr. Appleton about my knee. I got that free consultation that you can take advantage of too, the free consultation with Dr. Appleton. And he treated me with a laser treatment on my knee, which is 100% painless. There's no shots, no injections, no downtime. In fact, not only is it completely painless, you don't even feel it when it's happening. So that was on Thursday. The next day I woke up on Friday and my knee was already improving. I went for a second treatment on Saturday. First treatment Thursday, second treatment on Saturday, and then Monday, the pain was gone. And 3 years coming in August, the pain has not returned because the laser treatment doesn't just rid you of pain, it repairs the damage that's causing the pain. It's amazing. It works. And he's rid me of pain 6 times after that for a total of 7, Dr. Appleton. We have listeners that travel literally from all over the United States to see Dr. Appleton. He is incredible. The laser treatment works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. Arthritis, which, by the way, he rid me of arthritis in my hand, bursitis, work and sports injuries, strains and sprains, repetitive motion injuries, post-surgical swelling, neck and back injuries, knee conditions, tinnitus, sciatica, spinal stenosis, fibromyalgia, plantar fasciitis, which I understand is incredibly painful, rotary tears, herniated disc, acute pain, chronic pain, and any type of pain you've ever heard of. Because I keep meeting listeners all the time with new pains I never heard of, and they're now living pain-free thanks to Dr. Appleton. Give him a call. Now, remember, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'll take another call or two before I get into the other things. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air once, twice. All right, take care. You missed your chance. Okay, so if you're on hold, stand by. Big story dropped involving Candace Owens, Laura Loomer, and others, okay? And this is a pretty big one. The Attorney General of Florida, who is a really good guy, the Attorney General of Florida, he's the one who came. I know Ron DeSantis likes to take credit for this, but the Attorney General of Florida is the one who came up with the idea of the alligator Alcatraz. He came up with the idea for alligator Alcatraz, and he also came up with the name for alligator Alcatraz. Okay, so that's my kind of Republican right there. And there's been an arrest made. Let me pull this up. This is insane, and it involves... now, there's a couple parts to this. The first part, this is the Attorney General of the state of Florida. Last week, our Office of Statewide Prosecution was notified of multiple specific death threats made to Jewish conservative media members who live in Florida. One of them was Laura Loomer. After an investigation, we obtained an arrest warrant for Nicholas Ray of Spring, Texas. Ray is now in custody and will be extradited to Florida to face charges of extortion, written threats to kill, and unlawful use of a two-way communications device. And I know, it's pretty bad, isn't it? And let me pull this up so you guys can see it. This is his mugshot. And then there's and one of the people that he was threatening was Laura Loomer. And then she wrote this on X. This is what Loomer wrote. Nicholas Ray's mugshot has been released. This is Laura Loomer's post on X I'm sharing. Nicholas Ray's mugshot has been released. Nicholas Ray is now in custody in Texas at the Montgomery County Jail, and his Florida Attorney General said he will soon be extradited to Florida to face felony charges of extortion, written threats to kill, and unlawful use of a two-way communications device. Laura Loomer, she writes, I became one of Nicholas Ray's targets because he was radicalized by the false accusations that I am a foreign agent, and then he proceeded to make a serious, incredible threat against my life and the lives of Josh Hammer and Seth Dillon over his hatred of Jewish people. She gives a thank you to the Attorney General. It's sad that this young man decided to throw his life away over conspiracy theories on the internet. He used an anonymous X account to make his death threats. Just a reminder, there's no such thing as being anonymous on the internet. We need to put an end to political violence. And what they're saying is that he, and I know this is what I've been warning you guys about, that he, now this is another post. Let me pull up this other post. Hold on a second. Let me pull this other post up. This one is, there's a lot on this. I'm not going to share all of them. Okay, this next post, this is from Jamie Mitchell on X, talking about Nicholas Ray, right, in the mugshot. Nicholas Ray, the Texas man who threatened to murder Seth Dillon, Loomer, and Josh Hammer. And isn't Seth Dillon's from the Babylon Bee, right? I'm pretty sure. Nicholas Ray followed 5 accounts and was radicalized by Candace Owens into believing these Jewish conservatives were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Make no mistake, violence towards Jews is what she and her minions want. If you aren't calling it out, you're complicit. Okay, so she's a Loomer hater and maybe an anti-Semite. But this is some serious business that's going on here. And, you know, I've talked a lot about what Candace Owens, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll get to the calls in a moment. I talked from time to time, but not for a while, about Candace Owens and the irresponsible broadcasting that she's responsible for. And the new media, now obviously Candace Owens is nuts, okay? She's not a sane person, but the new media, a lot of people in the new media, and some of them are conservative, all they are doing is clout chasing. All they're caring about is doing whatever, they're following trends. And they're saying whatever will get them the most views, clicks, retweets, likes, whatever. They're just trend chasing and saying things oftentimes only because the trend is in that direction. And it's getting dangerous. And I have no doubt this guy was inspired by Candace Owens and others with the rhetoric. You know, everything's Mossad, everything's the Jews to these. This is insane. You know, anyone who's Jewish is in Mossad. I mean, you hear what these people are saying. What some of these people are doing is so irresponsible and dangerous. And you can see, like, what happened here with this guy. And he's going to go to jail. This attorney general in Florida, he doesn't mess around. Listen to this. This is another story I came across just when I was reading up on what he was doing here. This is the Attorney General of Florida. Let me pull this one up too for you guys. This guy, I love this guy. He may end up being our governor. The guy that came up with the idea of alligator Alcatraz. Listen to this. This is the Attorney General of Florida again. The guy that came up with the idea for alligator Alcatraz. Thanks to the Suwannee Superintendent, Ronnie Gray. I'm assuming Suwannee is the Suwannee River, which is way up. It's like the Georgia border area. Thanks to Suwannee Superintendent Ronnie Gray, this issue was immediately addressed. Listen to this. Our Office of Parental Rights received a complaint that a Suwannee High School student was denied the ability to start a Turning Point USA chapter, a denial that is tantamount to political discrimination. The school must come into compliance with the law and cease its discriminatory practices. This guy doesn't mess around, right? I mean, kid doesn't want to. Kid wants to start a Turning Point chapter. Teacher won't let him. And he said this, thanks to the Suwannee Superintendent, Ronnie Gray, this issue was immediately addressed, and students are now free to start a Turning Point USA chapter at their schools. So this guy doesn't mess around. This guy making the threats that they arrested, that they're extraditing here, he's going to go to prison. He's going to go to prison here in Florida. And you know what? In the state prison, you know what they don't have in the state prison in Florida? Air conditioning. There's no air conditioning. I couldn't imagine. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Brian? This is Jeff. How are you today?
All right. How are you?
Good, good. Just wanted to ask you a quick opinion about the soybean farmers.
What about them?
Why are we having to bail them out again? Because
I don't know.
China is buying them from Argentina.
Farmers,
I don't know.
Farmers,
$20 billion to Argentina.
Farmers are always getting bailed out. That's the way of life. I don't really worry too much about soybeans, but a lot of people seem to be very concerned with soybeans. I guess, are you a soy boy?
No, my point is, am I a soy boy? Listen, my point is that these are farmers. These are people that voted for him. These farmers, okay?
Maybe.
And because of the trade war with China,
Yeah.
because of the trade war with China, okay, China is not buying the beans from us anymore.
Okay.
They're buying them from Argentina.
Okay.
And so now we're giving $20 billion to Argentina.
No, we're
Why
not. We are not
$20
giving.
billion
We're
to
not.
Argentina?
We're not giving $20 billion to Argentina. That's not true.
Oh, is it $40 billion now?
No, that's not true either. I'll tell you what the truth is. Now, tell me what you think. You said that we're giving $20 billion to Argentina. What do you think is going on? And then I'll tell you what's really going on.
It was $20 billion is to help the Argentina economy.
We're not
Giving
no.
it to the president.
No, we're not giving them $20 billion. We're not giving them 20 cents. That's fake news. And it's not $40 billion either. Okay, let me tell you what's happening. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. This is okay. Mele, he needs $40 billion. Okay, he needs $40 billion for his country. He's trying to get banks to loan Argentina $20 billion. Okay, President Trump is not giving Argentina anything. He made an offer that has a big condition to it, and here's the offer. You still with me?
I'm here.
Okay. He made this offer with a major condition. And by the way, this has been reported in liberal news sources. I tweeted a story about this yesterday on my X, Brian Craig Show on X, from PBS. And PBS hates Trump, right? Because he's cutting all their funding. PBS reported what I'm sharing with you. President Trump made a deal with Argentina that he will buy $20 billion worth of Argentinian pesos if Mele's party wins the election. So we're not giving them anything. They're going to buy $20 billion worth of Argentinian pesos to prop up their currency. So actually that $20 billion will go up in value right away because the money's going to go up in value. But they're not giving him anything. And it's on the condition that his party wins the election. So none of this thing about the 20 or the 40 billion that people have been saying on the left is true. It's all lies.
Okay, so but where is this money coming from?
Well, where do you think so you want to go to the other thing now? Get off the phone, you idiot. You know, I love these liberals. They have these talking points. I shoot it down. Yeah, but what about this? Okay. Now that you shut down my fifth thing, what about this? It doesn't work that way. Yeah, but what about this? See? Yeah, you know, gee whiz. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me answer all these calls. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Salt Lake City.
All right, Salt Lake City. What's up?
Yeah, so I'm just curious why you're wearing a Trump 2028 hat.
Well, why would somebody be wearing a Trump 2028 hat? Yeah, it's self-explanatory.
Yeah. Okay. So how is that not unconstitutional?
The Constitution can be changed.
Do you think that's reasonably plausible?
Yes, it's been changed 27 times.
When's the last time it got changed?
The last time I don't recall, but the term limits was in the early 50s.
Okay. So there's no plausible path forward for that amendment to happen.
Then you have nothing to worry about. Then why are you clutching your pearls about my hat?
Well, it's just interesting. I'm not clutching my pearls about it.
Yes, you are. You're like, you sound hysterical about it. Like it really bugs you.
So.
It really bugs you.
Well, it does bug me when the president of the United States is selling merchandise.
Yes.
Promoting an idea that's
okay. Let me tell you. Slow down a second.
Right?
It's not unconstitutional. It's protected. It's free speech, First Amendment. But have you seen President Trump in that gift shop at the White House where he has the hats, and he has this hat for sale in that White House gift shop? Have you seen that?
No.
Okay. There's a gift shop that he has. He sells all kinds of MAGA merch in there, including the Trump 2028 hat. And sometimes he takes world leaders in there and shows it to them. That gift shop...
Which is tacky, but okay.
Tacky, yeah. That gift shop used to serve another purpose. Do you know what that room was prior to the gift shop?
Tell me.
What would you guess?
Tell me.
It was...
I don't have a clue.
It was the room where Bill Clinton used to have sex with Monica Lewinsky in.
Okay.
So what is more? And I'm not kidding, by the way. I'm not kidding. I'm not. That's true. So where he had the sink, and look, you guys, if you guys remember the sink and the cigar and all that, it happened in that room.
Well, what's your point of bringing that up?
I want to ask you a question. Which do you think is more offensive to you? That Trump has got some 2028 hats for sale in that room, or Bill Clinton had the cigar out with Monica Lewinsky and the sink and all that? Which is...
The 2028 hat.
The 2028 hat is more offensive than the President of the United States having sex with a 25-year-old intern and getting the cigar out and the sink and all that. Really, you want to stand by that one? So you're telling me you're telling me it's okay if Trump wants to have sex with like Caroline Levitt in there, that's okay with you? Give me a break.
I don't support that.
See how far to be a Democrat. See the depths that you have to go to support your liberal crap? That you have to say something as absurd as what you just said.
Okay.
Don't you feel stupid?
You're putting words in my mouth.
I'm not going to put anything in your mouth.
Right
now, I asked you a question and you answered it.
You're conflating the argument. You are talking over me, and then also you're conflating what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Bill Clinton was a scumbag. Did you hear me say that? I already said that.
No, I said which is more offensive to you, Bill Clinton having sex with Lewinsky and the cigar, or the Trump 2028 hat in that room? And you told me the hat.
Have you heard of all the shit that Trump has done? He's cheated on every single one of his wives.
Really, he's never cheated on Melania. His second wife cheated on him. That's why he left her. He cheated on his first wife.
Okay.
Yeah, he owns that.
I mean, JFK.
Well, I don't know why you're jumping. I don't know why you're dancing all over the world of issues. We're talking about some very specific things, and you're dancing on to things all over.
Trump's head, and you're talking. I'm talking about the fact that the president is promoting.
No, you were talking. You mentioned that. Excuse me. You mentioned that President Trump sells these hats. I'm talking about the room in the White House where they're for sale and what the room was previously used for.
You want to change the topic to something else.
If you look on the screen above my head, it says The Brian Craig Show. I'm Brian Craig. I decide what the topics are.
Okay.
Not Brian from Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Hey, listen, call me again sometime, all right? I appreciate the call. Oh, man. If you're on hold, stand by. My name's Brian Craig. This is The Brian Craig Show podcast. We'll be right back.
From the slopes of Mount Kenya to the land of opportunity in America, one woman carries her father's voice across continents and through generations in the powerful new memoir from author Dr. Mumbi Mugambi, Echo of My Father's Voice, a journey from Israel to Mount Kenya to America, available on Amazon. In this must-read book, the author uncovers hidden truths of ancestry, faith, and resilience, stories passed down through whispers, traditions, and a father's unwavering testimony. Echo of My Father's Voice is a story of identity reclaimed, of a daughter honoring her heritage, and of confronting the harsh realities of a world that too often seeks to silence those who refuse to forget where they came from. This memoir is also a journey of discovery, healing, and courage. This book also makes a great addition to your book club. Don't wait. Order your copy right now. Echo of My Father's Voice, a journey from Israel to Mount Kenya to America. From author Dr. Mumbi Mugambi, on Amazon and Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Have you dreamed of exploring Australia? Not as a tourist, but as a true local. Australia Your Way 2025 from author and lifelong traveler Katroshina Amirovich. Available on Amazon, takes you on a 6-week journey along the east coast of Australia. From the rugged beauty of the Great Ocean Road to the tropical wonders of the Great Barrier Reef. Australia Your Way 2025 was written from real lived experiences. This isn't a guidebook, it's a personal adventure, one filled with insider tips, hidden gems, and even the author's unforgettable wedding in Sydney. When you read Australia Your Way 2025, you'll find adaptable itineraries, smart budget hacks, as well as confidence-boosting safety tips for solo and female travelers. There's also local secrets beyond the tourist traps, with QR codes linking you to maps, apps, and planning tools to make your trip seamless. Whether you're road tripping, backpacking, or chasing waterfalls in Queensland, Australia Your Way 2025 shows you the Australia only locals know and love. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. From author Vera Hollow comes a book that's a light for anyone who's ever felt alone in their struggle. A reminder that even in our hardest moments, we can still find humor, strength, and maybe a little magic in Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft. Available on Amazon. Meet Maggie. She's 54, chronically ill, recently divorced, and now able to talk to squirrels. After moving into her late grandmother's cottage in Pine Hollow, Maggie's quiet life takes an impossible turn. A teacup explodes, her grandmother's ghost starts giving tea-making advice, and a 7-foot forest spirit with antlers appears in her kitchen to tell her she's the last living steward who can stop an ancient evil from escaping. But saving the world isn't easy when you can barely open a jar or walk across the room without apologizing to the furniture. Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft is a magical, heartfelt, and darkly funny story about rediscovering purpose, even when your body doesn't always cooperate. Author Vera Hollow wrote Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft after being diagnosed with lupus, on top of already living with other chronic illnesses. It was her way to cope, process, and find a little humor. Even on her most difficult days, she hopes that others facing similar battles can find something to relate to in this must-read book. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft from author Vera Hollow on Amazon. Imagine a world where a single plant powers new industries, new opportunities, and a cleaner tomorrow. After the passage of the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp is doing just that. From textiles to building materials, health products to eco-friendly alternatives, hemp has the power to replace top products and create a more sustainable tomorrow. In the new book, Unlocking the Secrets of CBD, Taking Hemp from Seed to Sale, written by the founder of the successful online business, HempThirdEye.com, Unlocking the Secrets of CBD takes you inside the entire industry, from planting to producing high-quality hemp products ready for the marketplace. If you're ready to take part in this green revolution, start right now and order your copy of Unlocking the Secrets of CBD. The link is in the description of this episode, and as a bonus, the author is offering a free 30-minute consultation to talk with you about the physical and economic opportunities of hemp. Hemp is the future. Be a part of it. Order your copy right now. Unlocking the Secrets of CBD. The link is in the description of this episode.
All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast, available on all podcast platforms. Wherever you get your podcast, just search for the Brian Craig Show. I'll pop right up. If you want to catch the show live in video form, you can do that on YouTube or YouTube Music, and then you can even call me live. But the audio version is on all podcast platforms on YouTube and YouTube Music. It's Brian Craig Show as well. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yellow. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bradley.
Speak up, Bradley. I hear some liberalism coming. If I were a liberal, I'd be whispering too. Yes.
1 second.
1 second. I mean, geez.
Yeah. I noticed you're wearing a Trump
Back to the
2028
hat.
hat.
Yes.
What does that mean?
What can you read?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, so you understand, and you have the ability to comprehend what you read?
Yeah. There's only 2 terms per president.
Well,
right?
I thought there was only 2 genders, and you guys changed that. There's like 85 now. So if there can be 85 genders...
That's not even what we're talking about.
It's what I'm talking about.
So you think Trump needs a 3rd term?
I would suppose... I'm going to get a hat that says 2032. Start wearing that one, too, after he's president again in 28.
You think he'll live that long?
Yes, he's so healthy. He's
With
so
his
healthy.
Diet and his ill health.
His ill health. He just had his physical last week. The doctors said that his physical age is 14. Excuse me. They said that his physical age is 14 years younger than his numerical
You're
age.
Talk over me. I'm gonna talk over you.
No, you're not going to talk to me at all. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Patty from New Jersey.
Hey, Patty.
Hey. So I have to tell you, that kid is, first of all, he's not clutching his pearls. He traded his pearls in for an oyster, it sounded like. But he's so far out of touch, and I could swear to God he has called you about that hat before. I swear to God, his voice sounds familiar. He's so not in touch with reality. And, for anyone to call in and say that they think it is more moral for what Bill Clinton did in that room, then I mean, really.
When I first heard that was the study where I'm not going to go through the details, but where the cigar and the sink and all that stuff, it's so hilarious when you think about it, isn't it? It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just that it cracks me up that these people are just so far out of touch with reality that I honestly don't think there is any hope for them. I've always thought that people can change and there's hope for everyone, but these people are so far gone that I just don't think there's any hope.
Like I said, J.D. Vance said there's no unity with these people. J.D. Vance said that. I agree. I mean, you think I'm trying to make friends with these guys? But then again, listen, I got a call this morning. Early this morning, if you go back and watch the live stream, I can't remember how far into the show it was, but a guy called me, and he started listening to me 2 months ago, and he said, I think I'm MAGA now. I think I'm a Republican now. The guy that called in and is the cocaine addict, he's trying to get off cocaine, and he was telling me that he only gets the cocaine prices have gone up so much because of Trump's war on shutting down the border and taking out the drug boats. That cocaine prices have gone up 400%, and Trump is like a rehab program for him. Trump's getting him clean for the first time. He's getting him off the cocaine because it's getting so expensive. That guy.
Isn't that great?
It was one, yeah, and he's happy. I mean, he's an addict. He's trying to give up, but he's getting weaned off because there's massive inflation with cocaine, and he's crediting Trump for it, and he's thanking Trump for getting him off the drugs. And he's slowly weaning off. But he said, I think I'm MAGA now. I think I'm a Republican now. So that, we do red pill people.
Yeah. Well, and that is true. That, everybody out there is like, oh, well, the reason why, people ship drugs to the United States is because the people in the United States use drugs. Well, you know what? We were never this bad. Never this bad.
Mm-mm.
What we have to do is take the drugs away and get these people cleaned up.
Well, that's what Trump's doing. That's what Trump's doing. Think about it. Think about it, okay? Well, let me answer all the lines that are coming. Phones are very busy. Think about this. If the liberals had not been successful in legalizing marijuana, this country would be almost totally drug-free right now. The fentanyl and cocaine is not getting in the country, right? The border's shut down. Very little's getting through. He's blowing the boats and submarines out of the water from the cartels. All they have is their legal marijuana now. If they didn't legalize marijuana, we'd have a drug-free country.
I live right on the border. I live in New Jersey, up in Sussex County area, and I live right on the border of New York State. Everywhere I go in New York State, every time I get out of my car, all you smell is weed in parking lots. Mm-hmm. Everywhere you go, and it's disgusting. Yeah. It's just, sad. And I really think they need to go back to taking that back because we don't need it. We don't need it. There are plenty of things in this world to go out and enjoy.
Well, hey, listen, but yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Just say no to drugs. All right, appreciate the call. Take care, all right? Good call, good call. You're on the air. What's your name? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Christopher. I'm calling from Rochester, New York, and I went to the No King rally. No King rally. No King rally. No, let me tell you something. Trump is a 34th convicted felon. Democrats never wore hats. We never wore hats. You worship Trump. You worship him. You're a grown man, dude. You never wore hats about Democrats. You are too old for that. You worship another man. What's wrong with you, man? And you don't never let nobody talk. President Obama. President Obama. President Obama. President Obama. President Obama. President Obama. President. I still say President Obama. You can't stop free speech, Trump supporters. Free speech is for everybody. You need to let people talk.
Yeah, well, sometimes maybe I let you talk too much. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, how are you? Rio, I'm from Israel.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Rio, R-I-O, and I'm from Israel.
Israel, calling from Israel. All right. Did you the vice president's the vice president's in Israel today? J.D. Vance.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it was on the IDS security profile.
Oh, really? You saw the vice president today? That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. He was with Jared Kushner?
Love that guy as well.
Yeah. So what's on your mind? You called me. What's up?
Well, I'll tell you that. I'm not too big on politics, especially in the U.S. I've been in the U.S. For a few years. Touring, playing ice hockey, helping some communities, nothing big.
Uh-huh.
It's hard for me to see general the places that has, how would they say it? I'll call it bad education. Maybe you can find a more tuned words for it, or less. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say access, but the will to go and look for what's actually going on.
Well, hold on a second. Let me answer these lines. So what exactly are you talking about? What do people in America not know?
Well, I think that every time I'm going back to your holding.
Oh, that's okay. I got you now. What do people not know?
I feel like the louder part of the people that scream all the time, and all the media and all the people who go and they just don't know what's really going on. Who are the actual Israeli people, what they think about Americans, what's going on.
Well, the sad thing is in the United States with the Democrats, and I hate to say this because I'm a strong supporter of Israel. But Barack Obama was very successful in spreading a new wave of anti-Semitism in this country. And it's getting worse and worse in this country. It's sad. We had virtually wiped out anti-Semitism in the United States, and it's back big time. I've never seen it like this. It's disgusting. They don't understand.
Would it be scary for somebody from Israel who would go to the right channels to come and to the U.S., maybe either leave work or just have fun there? Would it be scary to go around? Because I know for me, not that I'm really getting scared from it or of anything, but going to, let's say, the U.K. is not something I would ever consider. Even if
no way. I mean, going to the U.K., you might as well go to Saudi Arabia. It's like London is like Mecca. Right.
To be honest, I feel safer going to Saudi Arabia.
I don't know. And this Mamdani that's about to become mayor of New York, he went and met and posted a photograph of himself with an imam the other day who was one of the, he's an unindicted co-conspirator in the World Trade Center attack in 1993, which was Al-Qaeda did that. So he's hanging out with Muslim terrorists and bragging about it. I mean, it's bad. No, I know that it's been reported a lot in this country. There are Jews at colleges who hide the fact that they're Jews. They don't wear their Stars of David. They hide it because they're scared. And I'm embarrassed to say it, talking to an Israeli, but it's unfortunate. It's the left. Candace Owens, I know she's a nut, but
Would you say that the entire Palestine thing and the uneducated people are loud and obnoxious right now everywhere there? Would you think it's a trend that would pass? What do you see for the future?
What's happened is the leftists in America have taken over the education system, public school and college, and the education system is filled with nothing but Jew haters. I hate to say it. I mean, it just is, and there's no understanding of the situation in the Middle East. They think Israel's the aggressor. They think Israel deserved October 7th. I mean, it's insanity. It's complete. It's like 1933 Munich, Germany, in parts of this country. And I do everything I can to stand up for it. I'm not a Jew, but I'm a supporter of Israel. They don't understand, But then again, they don't even never forget. They don't remember 9/11. They're about ready to elect this guy mayor who's hanging out with World Trade Center bombing people. I mean, it's a bad time.
I'm very appreciative of your effort, and for people like you, it stands for what's right.
Well, I appreciate that, but with that being said, the president of the United States, the anti-Semitic voices are a minority, right? President Trump is a strong supporter of Israel. He always has been, and he's the majority vote and won the popular vote in this country in the last election. So the majority of people in America are on your side. It's just a vocal minority in this country, and most of them are kids that don't know anything. Maybe they'll grow up and grow out of it. You know what I mean? So President Trump is representative of he won the popular vote, so he's the representative of the vast majority of the American population.
Yeah. Well,
I know it's sad.
I would say that for anybody who is scared to come here, I more than invite you over. I think any American who was here that I ever had any conversation with always came back. And personally, I would love for you to see what it's really like and who are the people. I also know that we're not as great. We also have our communities that travel and give us a bad name, but the people who are just
I want to ask you something. When President Trump spoke last week at the Knesset, he asked the president of Israel to pardon Netanyahu. Is there any talk about that in the media in Israel? Is that going to happen?
It's been a talk for a week. I'm not certain that it's going to happen because the big thing that he missed. I don't think he missed. I don't think he cares that much. But for him to pardon him, he has to be convicted yet.
Really? In the United States, you don't have to be convicted to be pardoned.
So it doesn't work like that here.
Oh, you got to be convicted first.
He has to be. He at least would have to sign like a deal that he says, okay, let's settle down. I
wouldn't sign that if I were him. I wouldn't sign that. They'll throw him in jail.
He kind of needs all the political capital he can gain. Right now.
Listen, the things he's accused of doing are such minor things. I mean, it's nothing really. It's minor stuff.
Look,
I don't even know if I believe it all.
Would I hope for a brighter future that politicians would not have to even get to that point? Of course. Is Bibi amazing? I think he's a great guy. I met him a few times.
Yeah.
Casually in the IDF. I don't think there's any replacement or any politicians that is able to take what Bibi has done and at least do.
Well, let me tell you what.
Coming close to that level.
Let me tell you what happened. Okay, since we're talking, because you're in the IDF and all this stuff, I'll tell you what happened. And as far as this country, okay, what happened on October 7th was god awful. I don't even like to think about it. It was like It was like prehistoric times.
I was there. So
Were you?
I was there. So
oh my
yes.
goodness! I mean, you know, so I mean, it's worse for you, but I don't even like to think about it. It's horrific beyond imagination. It was barbaric. They were barbaric. And what happened is the war in Gaza went on so long. Everybody, world opinion, President Trump's talked about this. World opinion was with Israel, and then it went on so long in Gaza that they started, over here, they were calling it Israel's Vietnam, right? And people were just getting war weary and wanted Netanyahu to wrap it up. You know, people have a short attention span now with TikTok and everything. And so because the things went on so long in Gaza, it turned some public opinion away. But the United States is very strong with Israel. The media is anti-Semitic, okay? The media hate Jews. That's the way it is. So the anti-Semitic voices are overrepresented. So, but President Trump is, you know, in his first term, he moved the American embassy to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv. He's proved his, you know. But anyway, I do think, though, that President Trump asking them to pardon Netanyahu is a very small ask, considering everything President Trump has done for Israel. They should find a way to make it work.
Definitely, 100%. I just think this is the government here is not yet to be a strong government that can. We have some creatures. Let's just say that.
Well,
let me get as personal and tell you a story that I might get in trouble for telling, but if we're already here. But some people will take it as an item from everywhere. But I'll tell you my personal story. Tell me what you think. Just a small story from my service. I served since the war started. I've been in a few places, and I've done a few roles, mainly combat. Mm-hmm. One of the bigger situations that I dream about every night is that we were in an operation for a UN neighborhood that the UN built in Gaza to aid. To help the Palestinians, to bring aid, to do all those great stuff that they're supposed to do there. Hamas took control over that neighborhood. You can imagine the amount of intel we have on things.
Yeah.
Now, it was a bit deeper into the war. We were already in. There was the whole process of things. Our task was to go there and basically take control of that neighborhood, take control of the intel, the weapons, make sure there's no hostages, do what the military is supposed to do in that situation. And before going in and doing that to that neighborhood, we not only done multiple flybys that we dropped tens of thousands of flyers saying, hey guys, if you're not a terrorist, you should not be here because you're going to come. And I never heard of any other military doing anything like that. Maybe I'm not too well in understanding my knowledge of other wars, but we've done that multiple times. I personally flew a drone above this neighborhood that played on repeat. We're gonna come by that time, by that date. Everybody in that vicinity, we have a gate for everybody that we're gonna let you go through as safely as possible. Anybody else coming our way, when we do that, there is not supposed to be there and would be assumed as a threat.
Yep.
I've been already sitting in that neighborhood for 4 days. I will not go into more detail than that because I can't. But I got to tell from our snipers, you can assume what I do after from that story, that they saw a group of movement and people coming my way for the specific area that I guarded. They could not take the shot, and I had to be alert if I see any movement. And there was already deep when we got to the neighborhood. We already cleaned all the civilians, let them pass. Everything that was supposed to get done, got done. Mm-hmm. And it was one day after my friend, we went out in our safe area, we smoked cigarettes, he got shot in front of me. So it was 24 hours after that. I see 4 female characters coming my way. Full on they're all dressed, they're all everything. Now, personally, I hesitated and I waited for 2 commands to go down until I got the fire command. Now, I had to shoot at them because they were running and they're coming at us. Mm-hmm. I felt terrible. I seriously did feel terrible. And for the next 8 hours afterwards, because it took 8 hours for us to get close enough to the bodies to check who they are, what we did, like all those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I really did feel terrible. I wasn't at my best because of it, because I had to shoot down in my scopes 4 female characters, that we're not shooting women, we're not shooting kids, we're not doing any of it. I'll tell you more that we stood next to a school that they shot at us from that school. That school was full of women and children, and we let them keep firing at us from there and could not shoot at them and never wanted to. Now, once we went to check the bodies, all 4 of them had big IDs and strapped to them, and like one had a gun, and all those. They for sure were there to come and hurt us in any kind of way.
Absolutely.
And that was based on sniper and intel and all those things. To tell you that I'm happy that we had to be in that situation, no. To tell you that I'm happy with what I did, I can't say I'm happy, but I know that if I hadn't done that, they would come close and kill me and my friends.
Yeah.
Like something would have
That's
been
what
going
happens.
down.
Yeah.
That's a title that they take and they make an Israeli soldier killed 4 women in Gaza. Like, okay, what's the context? It's not like I saw 4 civilians and said, let's kill them. Why not?
Well,
I got a double command saying, you know, there's a threat to you.
Yeah.
To you and to do your job as a soldier after a year of training and doing everything you have to do.
It's a
and
war.
A 3-step protocol before we can even engage our gun. Before I can even put the mag in my gun, I have 3 steps that I always have to take. I have a piece of plastic sitting in the chamber instead of a bullet, just to make sure that I don't accidentally do whatever with that. And then, rules rolls up around the world. You kill women. I sit and think about it every night, every day of my life.
You're obviously dealing with some post-traumatic stress. And, I'll tell you a quick thing. Just take a second. There's a guy I know who's a Vietnam veteran. And he told me the first person he killed in Vietnam was a 12-year-old girl. And she was coming at him and his platoon, and she had a grenade. And I asked her, I said, "Do you feel bad about it?" He said, "No." She said she was going to kill me and my friend. My father in Vietnam told me a story with him. I'm not going to tell it, but he, some killing. That's just the war. I mean, it's god awful.
Yep.
Here's the way I try to explain it to people over here, because young people in this country aren't taught properly about Israel, and this is what I usually tell people. I'm going to give you the short version of it, but it's that Israel exists today in its current form because of the Holocaust. Because when the Holocaust was happening, not only did the Jews have nowhere to escape to, the United States wouldn't even take the Jews in, right? And countries were turning their Jews over to the Nazis. The French turned their Jews over to the Nazis. Others did too. So Israel was established in 1948 to stop the Holocaust from happening again, so Jews had a place to be safe. And what the Palestinians are doing, what the Muslims are doing, is trying to finish the Holocaust. And people don't, and they just don't understand that. And this war's over from now, but they're always going to be trying to kill Jews. It's never going to end. There's just going to be breaks in it. That's just the history of the Jewish people, sadly. It's just the way it is. I wish it wasn't. I hope this Gaza plan works. I mean, if what Trump says they want to do works, where they turn it into like a tourist destination, I don't know. I mean, I think Hamas will blow up the casino if they build a casino. If they build a resort, Hamas will blow it up.
Just the other day, after Trump has been here, after the ceasefire, after we declared the war over, after we left Gaza, I'm right now I'm out of Gaza because of that point in time, because of everything that happened, everything that Trump did, everything that Netanyahu has done, and everything they accomplished. We were done. We were there to protect ourselves. We had took our guard down, don't shoot, don't do anything like that. Great. Just the other day, they killed 2. We were sitting there on the yellow line that they determined that we need to go out back to. And they shot 2 RPGs and a mine and came and tried to kidnap another soldier. They've done all that. Now, if we were to re-engage, now we are the bad guys. After they broke the ceasefire that they agreed
that
to.
always happens. At the end of the Second World War, there were German Nazis still fighting in the 50s. They were still doing things in the 50s. And the war ended in 45, right? So, what's going on is that's normal. We just didn't have all this technology. I saw that. You're there, but I didn't even know about it here. But there's Trump is doing a new strategy, and I don't know how it seems to be working so far. He's making friends with the Muslim world, And I know Qatar is behind Hamas and all that stuff. I know all that. But he's making friends with them to hopefully stop them from killing you guys.
Look, the Israeli people, to be frank, the Israeli people, same as myself, we are their friends. I have Arab friends, I have Muslim friends, I have Palestinian friends. I have friends. We love to go to Dubai. We love to go to all those places. We have to be there and support. We talk about it all the time. Our best travel and trip industries are for go to Dubai, go to all those places. We love to go to Syria.
Oh my gosh, I would never go to Syria. That sounds crazy to me. I would never go to Syria.
No,
are you kidding?
We love to go. We love to, as an IDF soldier, Antonio, I love to go to where I could to go and be there. And we love to swim around the area. We love to travel the Golan Heights. We love to do all those stuff. And not because for us, we love the people. We love to be here. And look, in my dream, I would love to travel back to Lebanon and be there.
Well, when you look at these, whenever you look at conflicts around the world, the people get along fine. It's the leaders. And when it comes, you got Iran and you got Qatar, and they're screwing everything up. That's it, you know. But Syria, Syria, I don't know if I'd go to Syria. I don't know about that. But you know more than I do.
You know, it's a completely different subject. But we have at least between the people, we used to have good relations, and you know what? The Druze are also joining the IDF and love being here and protect each other. And we do, and I'm glad to say it. I have friends from all those. I think it's the very left and extreme Muslims, and the fact that
you know what you. Let me tell you what you're doing now. You know, is if you can do more of it, that'd be good. You know, calling me and others and letting people hear your story is helpful. It is.
Yeah. Well, that's my first time, and I just joined because. But
well, call me again sometime.
Yeah. I would. Thank you for that time. Thank you.
All right, take care. Take care. That guy, if you're just tuning in, that guy, he's in the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, and he's fought in Gaza, and he was at the music festival, October 7th. He was there. So you never know who's listening, do you? Let me, speaking of who's listening, let's talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. You know, if you're in the state of Florida and you need roof replacement or repair, you want to call Tom Laporta. Covers pretty much the whole state of Florida, the East Coast, the West Coast, everywhere in between. And he's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need a simple repair, he will do it. And, you know, we met him because Steve Kane had to get a new roof. And we found Tom Laporta through him. And he was voted, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing was voted best roofing company in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's Hurricane Alley. You know, we have more roofing companies per capita in Florida than any other state because of hurricanes. And to be voted the best roofer in Fort Lauderdale, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. There's probably 10,000 roofing companies in Fort Lauderdale, and he was voted the best. And he does great work. I've seen his work on multiple homes and different types of structures, and the work he does is phenomenal. He can handle a job of any size, too. He works on every type of structure, residential, commercial, municipal, but he can handle the job of any size too. So whether it's one home, one office building, one government building, or an HOA that has 450 units or even more, he can handle that as well. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. You can call or text 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. We'll be right back.
Are you feeling stiff, struggling with balance, or low energy? You're not alone. How would you like to restore your strength, flexibility, and your confidence without leaving your chair? Of course you would, but how? And where do you even begin? It is possible. You just need the right help and guidance. And that's what you will find in the new book from author Andrea Wood, Chair Yoga for Seniors Over 60. Available on Amazon. Author Andrea Wood is a highly respected fitness and wellness expert with over a decade of professional experience in yoga, Pilates, and holistic health. She's helped thousands of people just like you of all ages rediscover movement, vitality, and joy, especially older adults. Chair Yoga for Seniors Over 60 will show you how to improve your balance and posture, how to strengthen your muscles, relieve joint pain, boost energy, and even lose weight. With 50 simple chair yoga exercises, step-by-step illustrations, and exclusive video tutorials, you will gain the confidence in each and every move, safely and comfortably. This isn't about difficult poses or gym memberships. It's about living younger, stronger, and healthier, one gentle stretch at a time. Start your journey right now and order your copy of Chair Yoga for Seniors Over 60 from author Andrea Wood. Available right now on Amazon in paperback and Kindle.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm going to go back to the phones. Oh, boy, I can only imagine what awaits me on the phones after hearing from an IDF soldier who fought in Gaza, who was at the music festival. But be on your best behavior. You're representing our great country, all right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, Otis Murphy. I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay, what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to get your opinion of that ballroom they're building down there.
I'm excited. The president is making the White House great again. I'm excited.
Isn't it kind of effeminate?
Effeminate?
A ballroom? Effeminate. Draperies and all that fancy.
Do you know what a ballroom is for?
If you have balls, you go to the room.
How old are you?
But
how old are you?
Anywhere.
Excuse me.
So
How old are? Well, since you're a big tough guy, how old are you?
Something's going on. You guys are a feminine club of incels.
This is what I want you to do. The next time you call me while you're looking in front of a mirror. Call me when you're looking at yourself in a mirror, and look at yourself in the face when you're saying these things. And ask yourself, what am I doing? And do some serious reflections on your life, because you're not a young man, you're an old man, and to be talking that way at your age, well, I feel sorry for you. I really do feel sorry for you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Leslie from Phoenix.
Leslie in Phoenix. What's on your mind?
Yeah, earlier you had some callers mentioning Trump's infidelities, and I just wanted to clarify something. That yes, in all of Trump's books, he openly brags about not being faithful to his all of his wives.
That's not true.
Including Melania.
That's not true. That's all lies. Not in his book. Maybe in some Trump haters' book.
His books.
No.
He wrote.
Excuse me. Hold on. Slow down. There may have been some
Stormy Daniels?
No, he didn't have sex with Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels even said that.
Then why did they pay her so much money for nothing?
President Trump didn't pay her anything.
Money for nothing, chicks for free.
Donald Trump did not pay her anything.
Okay.
He didn't. In fact, she had to pay him for his legal. In fact, excuse me, she had to pay him for his legal fees. She paid him for his legal fees.
I'm just saying, if Trump did commit adultery, right? Would you still support him? Of course you would.
President Trump, okay, Stormy Daniels, not only did Donald Trump did not pay Stormy Daniels 10 cents. Michael Cohen was part of he paid her. He had some plot going on, some scam going on, okay? He went to prison. Michael Cohen. Donald Trump didn't pay her anything. Stormy Daniels had to pay Trump's legal fees, and she signed a statement saying that they had never had sex.
Hello?
Yeah? What are you smoking? Are you smoking weed, a cigarette, or vaping?
You keep putting me on hold, and I keep hearing, Brian Craig has you on hold.
You're on the air, and I heard you smoking. Are you vaping, a cigarette, or weed? What are you smoking?
Nothing. I'm actually just breathing air. You should try it. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Helps,
Yeah, sure.
Helps.
Sure. You okay?
All right, well, so you're saying Trump's an angel. He's always been faithful.
No, President Trump.
Good husband.
I love how these guys are all, all of a sudden all these liberals are Puritans, right? You're all religious Puritans now. No, President Trump.
Well, I couldn't imagine cheating on my wife and then
Well, first of all,
excuse me, I couldn't imagine cheating on my wife.
You're married to a woman.
About it, bragging about
he didn't.
It.
That's not
bragging
true.
About it.
That's not true.
Up.
You're married.
You love your wife. Would you cheat on your wife?
You're married to a. You're married to a woman.
And brag about it?
Excuse me. I'm not here to be interviewed by you, and what you said is not true.
I don't know if you're married to a woman or not, but you would cheat on your significant other and then brag about it.
That's not what President Trump did.
Man.
You just made that up.
That's really fucked up.
Well, you're making things up. I'll tell you the story with Trump and his 3 wives.
You know what it tells me? That vows
you're done. Okay. This is the story with Trump and his 3 wives. Yes, he cheated on his first wife with Marla Maples. He's admitted that. Marla Maples cheated on President Trump, and he dumped her for it. Remember? Okay. And Melania, he did not have sex with Stormy Daniels. She signed a statement that they didn't, and she had to pay his legal fees. But it just really cracked. That is the second or third call I've gotten about that today on the program. Are they starting something on MSNBC about it? And I love how all of a sudden, all these liberals are all of a sudden moral Puritans all of a sudden. I don't know where this is coming from out of the blue. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Madison calling from California today.
Hey,
how are you?
All right, Madison. What's on your mind?
Good. Boy, these callers you got. So I saw a clip this morning of Mika and Joe on Good Morning Joe, and they are so upset about the changes at the White House.
Yes, I was talking about that at the top of the show. I played that at the top of the show.
I came in late, that they were talking about a wrecking ball, taking out this historical building.
He's not tearing down the building. They opened up a wall in the East Room to expand into the ballroom.
Right, and many past presidents have done that. They had Theodore Roosevelt in 1902 did the West Wing. We had William Howard Taft make changes, Calvin Coolidge.
Well, if you rewind to the beginning of the podcast, I was showing photographs. President Truman gutted the entire White House. Nothing inside the White House is more than about 70 years old, okay? It was completely gutted except for the 4 outer walls. They even took out the windows. Every room in the White House was torn down and trashed. Nothing inside the White House today is from prior to 1950, okay? The other thing is he's not tearing down the White House. They opened up a wall for the extension of the ballroom that they're building. That, by the way, is being paid for by President Trump and donors. It's not even costing the government anything.
Right, yeah.
These are, haters are going to hate.
They were saying that. I think it's great that he's doing that. It's going to be a great improvement when it's done.
Indeed.
And, I mean, what do people think? These buildings are historical, but as we move through time, we need to make improvements. People do it on new builds every day in this country. So I don't know why they're so upset about it.
First of all, the main thing is they hate Trump. So anything Trump says is wrong, right? If President Trump came out today with the cure to cancer and AIDS, they would attack him for it, okay? So, so he can do no right. So trying to explain, but the other thing is it really shows a sad state of knowledge in this country. But they teach critical race theory and LGBT trans history in schools. They don't teach them that the current White House is not the original White House. Even the walls on the outside are not all original. I showed at the beginning of the program, so you guys can go back and watch the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I did come in late.
And I showed
but
photographs.
Obama had a basketball court, right?
That's true. He did have a basketball court built, which I don't even know if he ever used.
Yeah.
Did he ever use it?
All right. Well, I wanted to point those out to these callers calling in. They need to get informed.
All right. Appreciate the call. Well, to get informed, they got to start over with their schooling. Now, if you'd like to support my channel and all my content, my podcast and everything, become a Patreon supporter. If you become a Patreon supporter, you get a lot of perks, okay? You get access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes. And also, I do live streams on the Patreon platform. It's a troll-free zone. It's just Patreon supporters. And no one is in there other than Patreon supporters. It's a 100% troll-free zone because I don't allow trolls to become Patreon supporters, okay? But it's a live stream with a chat room just like here on YouTube, but it's only for Patreon supporters. And if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening on. And if you're a top Patreon supporter, you get a live on-air thank you shout-out on every episode. So the names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SF Jr., Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, Lizep, Shauna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, Janice, Teresa, Irene, and Doris. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. So again, if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening on, and the direct website address is on the screen on YouTube, patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean, what's up?
How you doing?
Hi.
This has just been an incredible time. I mean, the left is just losing their mind. So much of a man that can get so much done so fast. I mean, to be able to just do this, what he did with the donors, this is so impressive to get this done in the White House.
Indeed.
And it just shows me that the marksmanship this man has of just how he gets everything done. I mean, and it's just nonstop, and it just really brings out just the envy of the left, and they just envious. They wish they could be like him. They really do, and they just are blinded by so much hate and vitriol, and it's just amazing to see. And,
in fact, I'm going to pull up. I'm pulling up on. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm pulling. This is one photograph. The White House released all this stuff, and I thought everybody knew this. The photograph I'm showing on YouTube right now. This is the center of the. This is inside the White House when Truman had the whole thing gutted. Every floor, everything was taken out and trashed. Everything. And I'm showing it right there. In fact, there's a hallway you see. That may be a basement hallway. Looking at it, it was torn down. It's in dirt. They've got a backhoe in there tearing it up. I mean, it's ridiculous. But they don't teach. They don't teach people about history in this country anymore, so people don't know this.
That's what they don't want.
Yeah.
The left doesn't want this, and they want to act like this has been done so many. Like you said, most of the White House isn't original. It's been 70 years old, and most of it's been replaced in one way or another. And they act like this is. Of course, anything Trump does, they're going to say it's the end of the world.
I mean, could you imagine? I remember when George W. Bush first became on Inauguration Day. He went back to the White House, and he had his dad with him, right? Bush, the other President Bush. And they went back to the Oval Office together, and George W. Bush went in first. It was a big deal, right? We had 41 and 43. And I remember talking on the air, I said what they should have done was turn the lights off and get a black light and see what President Clinton had done to that room, right? And President Trump is building this majestic ballroom to impress important people that visit the White House from around the world forever. And they act like he's burning it down. It's ridiculous.
He's doing a service for future presidents, for future politicians that go in there. Exactly, like you said. This is all it's for. This is not for him. Everything he's doing is for the good of the country.
Yeah, I'm showing another picture now. This is from another angle. This is inside the White House when Truman had it all gutted, from the basement to the ceiling, all gutted and redone. Every stick of floor, like they make a big deal about the Lincoln bedroom. That floor wasn't even there. None of that. That wasn't the Lincoln bedroom. They call it the Lincoln bedroom, but it wasn't Lincoln's bedroom. Nothing inside the White House. Whatever year they did this, Truman was president. So, I don't remember the exact year, but it was in the early 50s, right? 48, 40, 50, something like that. So it's ridiculous.
It is. I mean, it's just the way they act about this. Absolutely. If Barack Obama did this, he'd be God. And,
exactly. Oh, look at him bringing back majesty to the White House, Barack Obama.
Yeah, bringing class back.
Bringing class and dignity back, yes. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's a bunch of
crap. It's total crap. Yes.
Absolutely. It is. And it's just that their hate is so great, so it doesn't matter. And I wanted to also say, what's some pivotal calls you had today throughout the day? This morning also with the guy with the cocaine thing.
The cocaine addict. That was amazing.
Yeah. It is, and then you got this Israel, but then JJ, I think, was talking about his theory about the shooter, the hunter.
The last call I had on the morning show, he had such an. Let me share this with you, with the audience that may have missed that call. We're talking about the sniper's nest they found here in Florida, Palm Beach by the airport with definitely a sniper's nest. The law enforcement certainly thinks it is because they sent it to, Bongino and Cash Patel had to take it down and sent to Quantico to the FBI lab looking for anything. There's a National Guard post there where they found it. And what JJ thinks is that may have been a transgendered soldier did it. And that's a pretty, if that turns out to be the case, JJ is he'll be elevated on the program with the callers.
Well, you should be. I mean, that's a really good theory that he has there because look at most of the shooters are. Look at the status of most of these people, and look what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's absolutely unbelievable. I was thinking about after he was talking about that, and I was like, just look at the patterns. It makes so much sense. I mean, those are the people that want to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to. They're not going to, but they're trying to, and it's absolutely wow. And I don't know what they're going to get back in this when they analyze everything and they get back a test. I really don't know. I don't know what we're going to find out. I mean, anybody's guess is as good as any's, but it's absolutely we need answers. And
that's right.
Wow,
hopefully we'll get them. Well, listen, I got to move on because we're winding down, but I appreciate the call. Good to hear from you. Call me again, okay? Yeah, if JJ's right, boy, oh boy, that's something. I'll be saying, I wish I'd have thought of that first. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Seth calling from Tampa, Florida. How are you doing?
All right, Tampa, Florida. What's on your mind?
Well, I saw you. I found you on YouTube. I don't know if you're syndicated nationwide or if you're just broadcasting over YouTube, but I saw that you were wearing a Trump 2028 hat. And I'm just curious as to why you wear that when he can't serve another term.
Sure he can.
How is that?
Are you a liberal or conservative?
I vote for the politician that I think.
Okay, you're a liberal. Who'd you vote for last time? Who'd you vote for last time?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Oh my God. Okay, so you're a Democrat. So the Democrats, the left.
No. Please don't. Please be.
You voted for Kamala Harris.
You.
You voted for Kamala Harris.
Doesn't make me a Democrat.
Well, I didn't know. You told me you voted for Kamala Harris. You voted for the Democrat. This is what
you just said that I was a Democrat, did you not?
You voted for a Democrat?
That doesn't make me a Democrat.
Okay, all right, whatever. Okay, that's like saying someone who's bisexual is not gay. I'm trying
to have a polite conversation with you, and you want to sit here and try to go
you voted for Kamala Harris. It's a touchy subject for you, obviously. Well, this is what
obviously it's a touchy subject
you're not the
for
first
you because you're the one that wants to attack me.
No,
I'm asking you a
why
question.
Why is it an insult? I don't understand why it's an attack.
I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
Excuse me?
You told me you voted for Kamala Harris. I don't know why it's an attack to point that out after you told me you voted for her.
Okay, so I started off the conversation by politely asking you a question. Then you want to try to go ahead and move the goalpost and try to talk about something else.
I'm not. No, it's the same thing. Let's go back. Excuse me.
You said that he
what I said to you.
He can serve another term, even though he's already.
Okay, I am answering your question, but you have to stop talking. The whole conversation we've had is about the same question. It's just putting a little context into it. And I told this to a caller earlier. You guys on the left tell us that I believe there's only two genders. People on the left say there's all kinds of genders. I don't know. They're making them up all the time. If there's more than two genders...
It doesn't matter to me what you choose to be.
Okay,
it
whatever.
Doesn't affect my life.
But if there's more than two...
When I sit down and I
can
eat
you
dinner...
stop? All right, hold on. It's this guy, If there's more than two genders, why can there not be more than two terms? That's the question I'm asking. If there can be more than two genders... You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is
Seth.
Okay,
you're back, Seth. Okay, Seth, if there's more than two genders, why can there not be more than two presidential terms?
Because the law says so.
The law says so?
Yeah.
The law says so.
You're a defender of the Constitution, are you not?
So you believe that the Constitution...
Are you a defender of the Constitution? Yes or no?
So you believe that the Constitution...
You don't want to answer that question, so I would assume
get your own show and you can ask the question. Are you telling me that the Constitution is written in stone and cannot be amended?
Has it been amended yet?
27 times. Did you go to school in America?
Has it been amended? Let me rephrase that question. Has it been amended to allow a two-term president to serve a third term?
It was amended in the 1950s, giving presidential term limits. Prior to that, we didn't have term limits.
How is Trump making America great when he's giving $40 billion to Argentina?
He's not giving $40 billion. He's not giving $40 billion. That's a lie.
What is he giving to him?
Nothing.
What is he giving to him?
Zero.
He's giving him zero. Okay, so when he sits there and answers a reporter's question,
I got to put you on hold. I got to put you on hold because you won't stop talking. When I debunk one of your stupid points, instead of dealing with that, you move on to another one. What do you got, ADD or something? Hey, listen, take care. Thanks for calling. I explained the Argentina thing like an hour ago. I'm not going to go over it again. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good afternoon, Brian. This is Nick out of Baltimore.
Hey, Nick. Oh, man. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, it's a great show, but we got some great calls. We got some knuckleheads, too.
Well, the knuckleheads make it interesting. I mean,
Yeah, but I wanted to say, President Trump is really, he's beautifying the place. And, he erected that beautiful flag.
Mm-hmm. Two of them.
And he's fixing and he's fixing the ballroom. Putting the ballroom in there. That's the way it should be, first class. And he's using his money. I hear these people complaining about all this, and earlier, one of your friends played a clip, Barry Cunningham in the noon hour. He played the clip of The View, and they were complaining about Trump, doing this to the White House, and they were complaining. And, these people are so hypocritical.
I got to tell you, you may not have noticed this, and maybe, but you guys will notice it now that I mention it. Do you know, since Trump won re-election, I haven't played any clips from The View? And I've done that on purpose. I just, they're so irrelevant. They're so ridiculous. They're so uninformed. And, like the other day, they had Bobby Kennedy's wife on. And the one woman's giving her a hard time about her husband. Her husband's facing prison, right? Sonny Hostin's husband's in all kinds of legal troubles. And she's judging the great Bobby Kennedy, who suffered so much in his life and is really, he deserves Bobby Kennedy Jr. deserves the Kennedy's Profiles in Courage Award. What he has done, going against the when Bobby Kennedy came to that Trump rally to endorse the president and everybody got up and gave him a standing ovation, that was such a sign of respect to him and his dad and his uncle. And I bet you he was tearing up, Bobby Kennedy. He's a great man.
I'm sure he was, and yes, he is a great man. And I'll tell you something. Like I said, I'm 68 years old. And I remember I was around for the Kennedy, the JFK assassination, although I was a little kid. I remember it vividly. I remember that day and how everything stopped. It was everything stopped. You went through the radio, everything. It was just solid news everywhere. Yep. And for 4 days, and then when Bobby Kennedy was killed. Well, the same thing with Martin Luther King. That happened on a Thursday night. And then when Bobby Kennedy was assassinated, that was a major thing. And I remember the train came through everywhere. It even stopped here. And
oh, really? With Bobby Kennedy? I didn't know they did that. With Bobby Kennedy?
Oh, yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, they stopped. They went all the way down, all the way. It went all the way to. They buried him up in. They buried him in Arlington.
Bobby's at Arlington. He's, in fact, I've been to Bobby's grave in Arlington. He is the only Bobby Kennedy is the only person buried in Arlington who did not serve in the military, and he has a he's just a little bit down from his brother, and he has a wooden cross.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to mention this because if you go on YouTube, if people go on YouTube, there's some old Merv Griffin shows, and he had Bobby Kennedy on before he was killed.
Oh, really?
And if you listen to him talk,
I'll check it out.
He was talking just like Trump.
Really?
He was talking about bringing businesses back. He was mentioning the different cities. He even mentioned he mentioned Baltimore.
I'm a big Merv. I used to watch Merv Griffin I get out of school, I come home and watch Merv Griffin. I was a big Merv Griffin fan. I'll check that out. But there's Megyn Kelly did 2 interviews with Bobby Kennedy Jr. about the assassinations of his dad and his uncle. They're both fascinating. And the second one. See, I never understood about Sirhan Sirhan, who, by the way, was a Palestinian. Sirhan Sirhan's a Palestinian. People don't know that,
Yes.
But isn't that something? But who shot Bobby Kennedy? Can you imagine? But Bobby Kennedy Jr. He says Sirhan Sirhan did not shoot his dad. He says that his dad was shot by his bodyguard in the back, who was CIA. And he goes through all of it in detail with, Rosie Greer. And some other people grabbed Sirhan Sirhan before he fired a shot.
Yep.
And he tells the whole, Rosie Greer, isn't that, remember, that's a name for the band. But,
that was so sad.
But you guys should go back and watch both Megyn Kelly interviews with Bobby Kennedy on the assassinations. The second one, the more recent one, is when he talks about how his dad was killed by his bodyguard, who was a CIA guy. It's fascinating.
I'm going to do that because I subscribe to her channel as well.
It's very good. I saw yesterday on X. I don't know if are you on X much, Nick?
Yes.
They're doing all these AI things with famous people from history, and they did one with President Kennedy at the grassy knoll, and it looks just like President Kennedy and sounds like him. You can't tell. The AI is really good. And he said the shooter came from here. The grassy knoll, not the book depository. He was right here.
My God!
It's hilarious. You got to look it up. It's hilarious.
How do I find that?
I imagine if you go on X and you search for AI President Kennedy grassy knoll, he's like the shooter was there, not in the book depository. He was right there, and it looks just it's crazy.
I'm gonna check that out.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
The Merv Griffin show.
I'll look it up.
Before I go, it's the old Westinghouse show.
Okay, with
the old Group W. It's the old Group W show. You'll catch it. It's in color too.
Okay, I'll check it out. Do you know there's somebody that works at the radio station who worked for Merv Griffin?
Oh, really?
Yes. They're not young, but they worked for Merv Griffin. Yeah. Back when
I'm sure he'll give you a lot of stories.
Oh, it's a woman. It's a woman. Oh, yeah, she's got stories. Okay. Yeah, she's got stories. I know. Is that crazy? All right, appreciate the call,
really
Nick.
Cool.
It is cool. All right, take care, Nick.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right. Yeah, these AI things people are doing with the historical figures, they're pretty cool, but some of them are pretty scary, aren't they? Let's take one last call, then we'll go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike calling from Texas.
Hey, Mike, what's on your mind?
I just want to let you know that you're a clown. You're so sucks.
Mm-hmm. Then why you been on hold all this time waiting to talk to me if I'm a clown who sucks? Why would you bother calling me?
Because I'm getting paid by the DNC right now to do it.
Oh, really? How much?
I make $500 a day.
$500 a day? They pay you to call me?
Yep.
Wow.
They paid me to call a lot more than just you, buddy.
Oh, really? Give me a break.
Yep.
Who else do you call?
Oh, I call a lot of people, but
Yeah.
between me and the people I call.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, you're not that important. Nobody's paying you to call people. If you were getting paid to call me, you wouldn't tell me.
Why you like guzzling the gravy from Trump, huh? You love just go.
Oh, you deal with a little reality away from your little cosplay fantasy, and now you want to change the subject to something else. You're a mental patient.
What's that?
I said you're a mental patient.
Mental patient.
Mental patient. You're a crazy person. I mean, you're a grown man acting like a 7-year-old child playing on the phone.
Just like you were on that last caller when you hung up on him because you couldn't have a conversation with him, huh? You're a clown.
Yeah. Now he's on repeat. He's run out of things. He's got a very limited vocabulary. He's back to the clown thing again. He knows like 43 words. All right, now if you're watching on YouTube, this image I'm showing on the screen, this is inside the White House when Truman gutted it. The White House actually released a bunch of photos in a press release. It's on my X, Brian Craig Show on X. You can go through it all and see a whole bunch of other pictures. But that's that. If you're new to the program, my name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And I'm here every day live streaming, taking live calls like I'm doing. The Brian Craig Show podcast, of course, is live here on YouTube in video form, but is also available on all podcast platforms. Wherever you get podcasts, you can get the audio version of the podcast there. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're tuned in on. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.